In the quiet suburbs of Long Island, there was a house that stood out from the rest. It was an old Victorian-style home that had been in the family for generations. The family who lived there had always felt a sense of unease in the house, but they had brushed it off as their imagination. One day, strange things started happening. Doors would slam shut on their own, and they would hear footsteps and whispers in the dead of night. The family tried to ignore it, but it only got worse. Objects would move on their own, and they would feel a cold breeze in the middle of summer. The mother of the family started experiencing terrifying nightmares, and she would wake up with bruises and scratches on her body. The father tried to rationalize it, but he couldn't explain the strange occurrences. The family eventually called in paranormal investigators, who confirmed that the house was haunted by multiple spirits. They tried to cleanse the house, but it only made the spirits angrier. The haunting escalated to the point where the family couldn't take it anymore. They packed their bags and left the house for good. But even after they moved out, the haunting continued. The new owners of the house reported the same strange occurrences, and the haunting only grew more violent. In the end, the house was left abandoned, and it became a local legend. People would dare each other to go inside, but no one ever stayed for long. The Long Island haunting had become a real-life horror story, and no one wanted to experience it firsthand. Years passed, and the abandoned house became a hotspot for thrill-seekers and paranormal investigators. Some claimed to have heard screams and moans coming from the house, while others reported seeing shadowy figures moving about in the darkness. One day, a group of teenagers decided to break into the house to see if they could capture any evidence of the haunting. They brought their cameras and recording equipment and sneaked into the house through a broken window. As they explored the house, they started to feel a sense of dread. The air around them grew colder, and they heard strange whispers and footsteps. Suddenly, the door behind them slammed shut, trapping them inside. The group tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. They started to panic as the haunting grew more intense. The walls started to bleed, and they heard the sound of a little girl laughing in the distance. Just as they thought they were doomed, the door suddenly opened, and they stumbled outside, gasping for air. They ran away from the house as fast as they could, never looking back. The experience changed them forever. They never spoke of the haunting again, but they knew that what they had experienced was real. The Long Island haunting had claimed yet another group of victims, and it continued to terrorize anyone who dared to enter the abandoned house.